Hey Laura, it's so nice to have you on the show today. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for asking. Thanks for having me.
Beautiful. And thank you too so very much for being here. Just like I mentioned earlier, I appreciate it. And you see, Laura, oftentimes I love to thank my guests for two things. And I do this so often to the point where it has become an anthem for me. So firstly, Laura, I want to say thank you so very much for investing in yourself. You see, you are on this platform right now because you did invest in yourself. And oftentimes I love to make reference to the amazing mango tree. You see, some months back, Laura, I was on a particular road, and just by the roadside, there was this tall, unattractive mango tree. And I used the word unattractive because the mango tree's got no mangoes on it, and the leaves were all dry. So I just walked past it and I went my way. But you see, Laura, just recently I was on that same road, and this time around, a lot's changed about the mango tree. The mango tree caught my attention pretty good from a distance, and immediately I got the urge to move so close to it, which I did, and it wowed me because now the mango tree's got a lot of mangoes on it, beautiful green leaves and healthy branches, and not just mangoes now, Laura, but ripe mangoes. It was such a lovely moment that day. I was so excited. Here is my point. The fact that you dedicated your time, energy, and resources to becoming the amazing Laura that you are today. And that alone has made it really impossible for me to skip you. And that's why you got the request from me to be on the show because I was attracted to the fruit of all that you're doing, the impact your work is having, how you're offering your solution, your philosophies, your insight, the stuffs are amazing. And just before you got the text from me, I said to myself, I've got to benefit from these beautiful things Laura is doing. Not only me now, but even the audience. And here we are today with the amazing Laura. So thank you so very much for doing that yourself. And secondly, thank you for saying yes to the invite. Because if you had said nope, there was nothing Elisha could do about it. Thank you so very much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
So let's get started. You see, I'm quite excited to have you on the show today, Laura, for some reasons. Firstly, my interest in knowledge seeking. I believe in order for one to transition from a terrible situation to that of a beautiful one, I believe it takes the application of knowledge, quality information. And not just knowledge now, but the application of it. And you see, Laura, ever since I discovered that light in the Hebrew means knowledge and darkness means ignorance, I've been so keen to knowledge seeking because I do not want to remain in the dark. So that's going to make our conversation today very important to me and even to the listeners. The second reason why I'm excited to have the amazing Laura on the show is for the sake of the listeners. You see, Laura, we live in an age where information is as abundant as grains of sand. We've got lots of information flying out there. So these folks trust me for quality, eye-opening, and very important information, of which I am totally convinced that our conversation is going to be insightful and impactful. So for that reason, Laura, let's get started with your introduction. Talk to us about your personal or professional journey. Because right now, we are just so curious. We want to know how Laura got here. Then afterwards, I've gotten some beautiful questions for you. Okay, Laura, over to you.
Thank you so much. So I started my professional journey really back when I was younger. I started sales, selling door to door to buy my mom Mother's Day cookies or gifts. I sold cookies to buy my mom Mother's Day gifts. And so that was when I was 9. And when I was 17, that's when I actually got my first Salesperson of the Year award selling magazines over the phone. And then I went to New York and I sold cyber technology, cybersecurity for the financial technology industry. I knew nothing about it. I'm just a quick learner. Was Rookie of the Year. And then a friend of mine was doing vacation sales in Virginia Beach, where I'm from. And so she said, you should come here. And so I went there and I started my career in vacation ownership. And every company I ever worked for, I was salesperson of the year, I was rookie of the year, then salesperson of the year. And finally, that led me to a huge company in Mexico. So they had seen what I had done in the United States, and they were like, we want you to come do that here. And I felt like that would be a really good opportunity to have a better life with my daughter. I was a single mom at that point. She was 18 months old. And I knew in order to work and be present, I would need to have extra help, in the house with cooking and cleaning, and that wasn't going to be feasible with the cost in the United States. So I said, if I go to Mexico and I do well, then we can afford these things there. And so that's what I did. And again, I was rookie of the year, salesperson of the year, all the way into breaking the world record for first time sales in the industry. And then I broke my own record twice. And then COVID happened. So when COVID happened, it really changed everything because, that job was my life. It was my identity. And there is a huge problem in having an identity in a job and not an identity in the right foundational things, as I'm sure and your audience knows. But at that time, my identity was my work and how much money I brought in. So with COVID coming, there was no more work. There was no more resources being brought in. And so a client of mine reached out to me because they needed help with a contract, because with COVID, their income had changed. So knowing I'm very educated on contracts, she just took a chance and said, can you help me? And I just took a chance and said, I'll try. And that turned into me helping her save, $500,000 on a contract. And she ended up tipping me $50,000 cash. And so that happened in COVID. And then she gave me a referral, who gave me a referral, who gave me a referral. And that was the launch of my first business, in which I did a little under $2 million in the first 90 days. And that changed my life financially. But, even though I had all these resources, my identity was still in the things that I had. And so I said, okay, well, I need a new condo. I need a new car, and I want to have plastic surgery, thinking that the plastic surgery would give me everything I wanted. I want this body, so I'm going to have this body, then I'm going to be happy. Well, fast forward to after the plastic surgery, I had everything and I wasn't happy. I couldn't even recognize the body in the mirror. I had body dysmorphia. I had post-op depression. I had, it was just, it wasn't until I went to therapy that I realized that the trauma that my body had gone through, having a mommy makeover, opened up trauma that I had been through in my life that I had not quite dealt with yet. And so it was through the healing journey that I found my way back to my relationship with God and back to the identity of who I truly am without everything. And that is how Pop Recovery Systems was born. Because when I started being healed and I started rebuilding that relationship with God and with myself, I started asking, I wonder if this is an isolated situation or if other patients go through this. And so through various ways like surveys and things online, social media is a powerful tool, I was able to find that this was a need, that other people had suffered the way I did. And they did, a resource was needed. There was a gap. And that is how Pop Recovery Systems was born almost 3 years ago. We've done a little over $2 million in business in these short, almost 3 years. We've done just amazing things, over 3,000 patients served. But I would say the most important thing is that this is a kingdom-driven business where we're not just helping people change their lives, but we're helping them find their faith. Because when you're going on a transformation that is external, it's extremely important to have that internal foundation and anchor. So that, in a nutshell, is what we've been doing. And we're so incredibly excited about all of the momentum that we're receiving, all of the great feedback that we're receiving, and more
Beautiful,
importantly, all
Laura.
of the
Oh
patients that
boy,
we're helping.
that's a very interesting story and inspiring one and profound one at the same. Because I believe there are a lot of people out there are still trying to, you know, get this and get that to feel happy. But by listening to your story, you would actually open their eyes to very important things, I tell you. But I'm curious in this aspect. So what challenges did you face building something new in healthcare? Can you talk to us about?
Yeah, I think that the biggest challenge is because I came in as a patient. I don't have any medical background, I don't have any healthcare background. So that was very challenging. I didn't even know what HIPAA was. And it wasn't until my chief strategy and operations officer kind of gave me insight and was like, hey, we're going to need to be HIPAA compliant. You're going to need to protect patient information. We're going to need a technology. I didn't know any of these things. So what I was able to do was what I do really good is I was able to delegate and find the right resources to help me build this. So we're now a team of a little under 40 people, and everyone has a role with the same mission. And the mission is to help patients. But that was the challenge in the beginning was, how am I going to do this when I have no idea what I'm doing?
I got that. Okay, so what does holistic patient care mean?
Holistic patient care means to me something completely outside of what is in healthcare right now. Right now, healthcare, a lot of times you're treated like a number. They get you in, they
So
get you out, and you try to figure it out on your own. And a holistic care team means thinking of the entire person, your mind, your nutrition, your physical activity, coordination and your family around you? Does everyone understand the journey that you're about to be on? And this isn't just for plastic surgery. We work with people for bariatric surgery, orthopedic surgery, any surgery. Imagine you're an active, even male. You go golfing every day or you play basketball every day, and then you injure something that stops that activity. It can be very depressing to not know when you're going to heal, when you're going to be able to have activity again. And they give you PDFs and printouts, but it's not enough. So a holistic care team comes alongside you on your journey and helps you understand your journey and put it in terms that you can actually understand.
beautiful. And that's what makes your approach so unique. And I love that. I love that. So, what gap did you see in patient care that inspired Hope Recovery Systems? Just
Yeah. So the
portrays it. You
biggest
just
gap
mentioned something.
Yeah, so what I saw was that there wasn't enough support before the procedure to help people prepare for the journey that they were about to go on. A lot of the things that were being learned after they already had the surgery. And they expect that these print offs and these PDFs that they give off or email, oh, it's all in there. Just read it all. We know adults don't read. For example, I'll read a book that's going to help me be a leader, that's going to help me grow. But if you give me instructions for medical, I send it to my assistant. I'll say, read through this and tell me the most important parts because it takes time. Now imagine the person and the patient who does not read at all. They don't even read books. So if you give them a PDF, even though it's something in regards to their medical safety, they skim through it. And so I just saw a gap in preparation. I saw a gap in nutrition. They expect you to do an anti-inflammatory diet, lower your sodium, not have anything spicy. But what if you're talking to someone that's all they have is spicy food, fried food. All they do is eat out. What if they're a single mom or dad that they have to cook for their kids and so they have to eat what their kids eat, and then, go into the coordination of it. People were like, yeah, my husband's going to take care of me. My friend's going to take care of me. Not thinking about the fact that friend or husband or spouse or whatever, they have to sleep too. So there's so many things that go into this procedure that patients are expected to take ownership of, and they don't know how to do that. And there was no system to come alongside them that also reinforce the protocols of the surgeon as well. And that's where I felt like POP had a place. Our recovery as a system, which is RAS, so our RAS model, which is patent pending, is the first ever recovery gap model that basically takes the patient from pre-op to post-op and beyond, but in conjunction with the surgical centers and the health systems.
Beautiful. Okay,
Right, there you
Laura.
are.
Yeah, that's profound. Like I mentioned earlier, I love your approach and the fact that you are setting out to be different, not trying to be like the parrot that echoes what others says, but you're standing out to be different. And that's so good. And thank you so very much for the beautiful stuff that you're doing. So to bring this to an end, what would you like to leave the audience with, like a final thought? And to those folks who would like to reach out to you, learn more about your beautiful programs and the amazing stuff that you're doing, how can that?
Yeah, so I would say that just remember that when you're going on a transformational journey, whether it be weight loss, surgical, that it's not something that is one and done. It's something that is a process that needs to be considered from the beginning all the way to the end. And you can't always rely on yourself to do the research and educate because it's your first time around. Even if it's your 10th surgery, you have 10 times of experience. That does not stand against thousands of times of experience. So I would encourage everyone to check out www.poprecoverysystems.com and find us on all social medias at Pop Recovery Systems, and just start educating there, because at least it's a third party that's non-biased and that's there to advocate for you. POP stands for patients over profit. And for the patients, it means you come first. And for the practices, it means you don't have to sacrifice profit for patient experience and quality.
So that's going to be the end of the show, Laura. Thank you for coming and thank you for sharing this beautiful stuff with us. It means a whole lot. Thank you so, so very much.